Um, April Fools? I, God, remind you, I made a video said I don't know nothing, so, yeah, that was your fault. Alright, let's explain ourselves. So, if you don't know, I made a video back on April 1st as a bit of an April Fool's Day prank, but not really. The context of it was basically that I had an idea, or a theory, I should say, when the next update was going to hit because of pattern of behavior as of late. Now, normally this would be true, except that there was one tiny problem that I ended up discovering after I released the video that that kind of threw a wrench into things. So if you watched my My Harry Valentine's, you may have noticed how I've mentioned how we got nothing, like there's no word, no one's talking about things. It seems like I have this thing random and all that stuff, right? Well, that's because I found out, because I decided to check out, because I'm a stalker like this. I'm not really a stalker, I'm just joking. But, you know, I decided to go ahead and look at the content director's LinkedIn because I was curious. And I discovered that our friend no longer works at the company as of February. So yeah, that explains a whole lot. Why I didn't get any update, why I didn't get any files, none of that. I just, no, goodbye. So, great. That's fantastic. So that explains why anything's there. Now, because of that, you might be thinking, oh great, so there's no one's working on this now. Not really. You see, earlier this year, I mentioned how there is a new content director by the name, or the lead director, the name of Nacho. I've met Nacho before. He was a content director for Her Oasis before that died. And he came back to the company a few years later and ended up applying for the position. So that's where he's working at right now. And because of that, he's basically going to be taking charge of this game for now until someone else comes in. And it sounds like from talking to the QA, or not the QA, but the content support, that they're pluralized when they say, well, bring it up to the directors, plural, meaning that there's more than one. So this means that we could see the project manager be involved in this, because I've seen that they have, they decided to pick, you know, Slappy in his Christmas outfit as his avatar, as their avatar. But this could also mean that the other people from Adams and Snoopy are helping as well. It's possible, they might not be, but it's possible because they're pluralizing, meaning there's more than one person. Or then maybe this could also be the new person who's taking in charge. That's also another possibility. So anyways, none of that's there. So because of that, and the other thing too, small team, due to the financial support, because of the fact that this game is not making a whole lot of money as of right now. It's making roughly under 10k. So yeah, trying to make something work with that means that they have to do a small team with it. So you can understand with a small team, it takes a little while to be kind of things of that nature, right? Well, that's the thing. So with that being said, there are some things about this that, make a video basically saying, so what, that's it? That we don't know what's going on? Well, not necessarily. The reason I'm making this video is because we actually did get some information finally. One of the biggest complaints I had was basically like, oh, where's the update? When are we going to expect an this, or what, like, are we screwed out of luck? Kind of thing? Well, no. We actually finally got an answer from him. Thank you, by the way. I'm glad that you finally, this is all I wanted. I just wanted you to say, hey, something's coming. That's all I wanted. You didn't have to tell me what's the new update and any of that. Like, I understand. Time and money. I get it. So anyways, then you might be thinking, alright, so a new update's coming in. Well, it seems like they're updating the game as far as probably adding new features and content stuff is concerned. I'm thinking. It sounds like they want to add more to the game, kind of like how their other games are. They're trying to keep it as unison as possible, so it's like less complicated in the sorts. And yeah, this game has a little bit of different features, like, you know, it has its own promenade and, you know, own scene and things of that nature. But at least they're trying to keep it somewhat consistent with all their other games, so it makes it a little bit easier, I get it. So because of that, it takes time. And there's another reason behind this that I've discovered. So not only did they announce that a new game, not a new game, I'm sorry. Let's rephrase that. Let's rewind. There we go. Now, let me just... God, I'm doing it again. Alright, there we go. So, not only is there new updates coming in, as far as like trying to add stuff to the game, I'm assuming, but they've made a mention to saying, yes, a new event is coming. Don't worry, there's a new event, right? But this is where the big news comes in. Because he mentioned, like, he didn't go into full details with this. He just basically gave us a basic understanding of this, so you can understand where I'm going to be hyped for this. But he basically said, this is going to be a double event. And you might be thinking, what do you mean by a double event? Well, there's 2 events confirmed coming. But by the sounds of this, we're looking at a major event, like a huge, big event that's split into 2 parts. So, think of it like how the Body Squeezers has part 1 and part 2 in the book. This update is a part 1 and part 2. So there's a bigger story going on that has 2 different parts and means 2 different things. So that means, and yeah, they also mentioned to say, yes, there's going to be 2 different content updates and they're going to be fully expended. So like how we've had the updates before, it's going to be the same thing. So that means we're going to get 2 characters at least, 2 scenes. The promenade is going to be different slightly. So I'm trying to think what book would justify more than 1 update. The kind of like, this is a huge, like, we've never had an update that is this big before, right? So it makes you kind of hyped to think what it could be. And that's part of the interesting reason why this is just so exciting to hear, that this is, first of all, whatever this thing is, it's going to be big. So I'm hyped for that. And all that more. And you might be thinking, alright, well that sounds cool. When should we expect this? That's the thing. We don't know. They didn't say a date, or they didn't want to put up a date or anything like that. However, I did make a comment saying, first of all, thank you so much for letting us know. Who can I contact to get some patch and update, stuff like that? Well, he messaged me back and saying, message me back late May and I will give you the assets you need. So, yeah, you're looking at until at least the middle or near the end of May. Which is like, oh, more time, more waiting. But look, it's going to be worth it because by the sounds of it, it's going to be a bigger update. So it's like one after another. So this is going to be something juicy. So I'm kind of excited to see exactly what they have in mind for this. But at the understanding, you have to just kind of do the Nintendo, please understand that because of the limitations they got going on right now, it's going to be taking a little while. Especially since this is going to be a big thing. This is going to be something interesting. Now, I will make a mention because they want to try to keep this unison. And this sounds like something that I've never seen happen before in a game, especially when it comes to this particular game. I have no idea if they're doing this to... You know what? They might have something similar. The only thing I can think that's similar to this, as far as their other games is concerned, is what Snoopy did. There was an update with Snoopy where there wasn't a beach event, but they split it into 2 parts. So the first part was like an underwater thing, and the next update was a beach themed. So this could be what we're looking at here, where there's 2 different types of things going on here. So it will be interesting to see what kind of event will justify having more than 1 feature. It could be a choose your own adventure. That's possible. It could be... Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's no other books because, you know, we already had the Invasion of the Body Squeezers, so that's not it. The only realistic thing I can think of that would make sense to see them doing a two-parter would be a special book, because a special book, sometimes there's two different paths you can go through, and one of them will change the story. So there could be two different things going on. But again, it could be anything. It could even be its own unique thing. That's also a possibility, but I'm not 100% sure. Whatever it is, this is going to be something new. We have not seen this before. This is being designed by, I'm assuming, Nacho, the lead director, unless there's other people involved, which that's also a possibility, but because he's the lead guy, he's basically going to be in charge of this ship. For now, until someone comes in to replace him, which is possible. But yeah, by the sounds of it, it seems like they want to try to get this game back up and alive again. And I can see how this is a hard thing to do, because the financial thing is the biggest problem. And part of that is also the fact that this game basically died back in 2021 due to contract disputes. And it kind of came back in 2022 small-wise, and as you know, it's been kind of doing the same things, but it sounds like they're trying to get this game back up and running so that it's like their other games. But in order to do that, they have to try to get revenue back up and running. And the thing is, this game is like guaranteed to get a lot of money in October, because that's like the big month. But every other month, it's kind of like small potatoes. But if they can at least make enough money to kind of do something like what the Atoms are doing, without costing a whole arm and a leg, that could help them out. But again, this is speculation here. But yeah, I just figured I want to let you know, so that way you understand that you're not waiting for a long time. But yeah, expect this update to hit sometime in, like, we're looking at late spring, early summer, I'm assuming. So May, by, as far as I know, at the end of May. So expect that. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this turns out. But yeah, all I will know is that whatever's coming up next, it's going to be a 1 and then 2. So it's like, again, so yeah. So I'm dumbfounded. I'm glad that we finally got some information. I'm happy about this. So now we can all speculate and get hyped and try to imagine what it might be. But yeah, that's it. I've been Grim, and this has been a news report, because I am your news director, because I work for HTTV. Until then, I'll see you whenever this update comes into live. And of course, if I hear anything, I'll let you know. But yeah, two-parter, man. That is something new.